This summer, we celebrated our 53rd wedding anniversary. As you might imagine, not every day of those 53 years was perfect. In fact, my wife and I sometimes joke that the reason that we've made it this far is that we both never wanted a divorce on the same day. The fact is that I love her more now than ever, and our life together has been the most important thing in my life. I'm so grateful that we have each other and that we still enjoy our relationship more than ever. Welcome back to our series on the 8 dimensions of true and lasting wealth. This is episode number 3. Today we're discussing the key to lasting love, creating and nurturing loving relationships. In today's video, I'm going to share with you the secrets of longevity and love that we've learned over the past 5.5 decades that you can use in your life to help you and your life partner thrive and flourish like never before. You might wonder why we're talking about creating and nurturing loving relationships on a YouTube channel that focuses on personal prosperity and building wealth. Well, the fact is that I have known lots of financially wealthy people who have been miserable because of their personal relationships. As you know, I believe that true and lasting wealth is based on a matrix of important factors, including maintaining a loving relationship with God, maintaining physical, mental, and emotional health, creating nurturing and loving relationships, creating financial abundance, having time freedom, being passionately engaged in creative endeavors to make a positive difference in the world, serving others, and being a lifelong learner and teacher. In today's video, I hope to share with you the lessons that I have learned and researched about this important topic in hopes that you will benefit from my experience and the shared experience of lots of other wise people who have gone before us. I think you'll be excited to learn about the specific and incredibly effective strategies that will actually help you prepare yourself for a long and great relationship. We'll learn how to strengthen, build, and reinforce the relationship that you're already in and create shared meaning and purpose that will make your relationship rock solid. We live in a world that seems to have lost appreciation for loving, lasting relationships. In fact, according to a new study by the National Center for Family and Marriage Research, the marriage rate when I got married in 1970 was 76.5%, and today it stands at just 31%. I see this as a sad and even tragic trend because I believe in marriage and family, and I believe that the most ideal and essential unit of society is marriage and family. It is most likely to ensure longer, more loving, meaningful, and satisfying relationships than any other kind. Cohabitation relationships outside of marriage are purposely engineered to be much looser in terms of interpersonal commitments between the partners. This kind of relationship is guaranteed to have fewer strings attached and much easier to terminate. It seems to run counter to the natural needs and desires for trusting long-term relationships. The likelihood of a relationship lasting and being deeply satisfying to both spouses varies depending on multiple factors, including cultural, socioeconomic, relationship. The likelihood of a relationship lasting and being deeply satisfying to both spouses varies depending on multiple factors, including cultural, socioeconomic, personal, and relational variables. That said, several studies and statistics from various countries and over time have shown some trends when it comes to comparing the durability of marriage versus cohabitation or living together. The U.S. National Center for Family and Marriage Research provided data showing that within the first 5 years of the relationship, cohabiting couples were more than twice as likely to break up than married couples, and the National Survey of Family Growth indicated that after 5 years, around 49% of cohabiting couples had broken up, compared to 20% of married couples. After 10 years, the breakup rates increased to 62% for cohabiting couples and 33% for married ones. So the long-term odds favor married couples. Of course, every relationship is different, but these numbers lead me to believe that overall, the institution of marriage appears to be far superior to cohabitation living arrangements. I believe that marriage is ordained by God to provide the most mutually nourishing relationship possible. While not every marriage works, and some need a divorce, I believe that it still holds the best chance for happiness, joy, security, and true love. I also believe that the legal, financial, and even spiritual commitments made in marriage elevate this sacred kind of mutual commitment beyond anything else that is possible. I also believe that children always deserve to be born into a home where they will have a loving mother and father who are faithful to one another, welcome them into the world, care for them, and teach them throughout their lives. Ultimately, most people don't stay together if a relationship is not working for them. So any kind of relationship can fall apart if it isn't treasured and honored. How can we transition from disposable relationships to a more permanent, nourishing, indispensable kind of relationship? What does an ideal marriage relationship look like? When a man and a woman are in what I call an inspired marriage, there are numerous benefits for each person. Of course, loneliness is eliminated. Even when a loving couple is separated for a short time, they each feel love and longing for one another. They each feel emotionally supported while apart. They yearn to be reconnected, and they are still nurtured in their time away by their mutual firm knowledge that their loving companion will welcome them back with open arms when they return. It's true that a short distance or a short absence makes the heart grow fonder. Everyone does need some time alone periodically to fulfill their personal needs. The positive impact of a happy marriage on physical and mental well-being is well documented in the scientific literature. Being in a supportive marriage provides a buffer against stress. Partners can talk through challenges, share responsibilities, and comfort each other, thereby reducing individual stress levels. They make each other feel emotionally safe. Studies have shown that happily married people, unsurprisingly, often have lower cortisol levels compared to their single counterparts, indicating lower stress. Happily married people are more likely to engage in healthier behaviors, such as regular medical checkups, balanced diets, and exercise. They may also feel less likely to engage in risky behaviors, such as excessive drinking or smoking. The emotional and physical support from a loving and committed spouse improves recovery from illnesses and reduces mortality risks. A loving and interested spouse will notice health changes, encourage medical visits, and help with medication regimens. The companionship and emotional support in a healthy, happy marriage will boost one's mood and overall mental health, which in turn has positive effects on physical health. A loving spouse provides emotional security, reducing feelings of loneliness and isolation. This companionship and connection are incredibly important to our mental well-being. These high-quality relationships leverage the complementary male-female energies and exhibit commitment and duty to one another. Sharing meaning and purpose and life goals, aspirations, and daily experience provide us with a sense of purpose and belonging, enhancing our mental health and bonding us together in the most powerful and natural way possible. It creates a nurturing, supportive space where both partners flourish and grow individually and together. Research has even shown that those in happy marital relationships have a lower risk of mental disorders, including depression, sadness, and loneliness. Strong collaborative relationships provide powerful emotional support during tough times. Through this kind of relationship, we experience joy and shared happiness. Unfortunately, today's world is filled with isolating influences that tend to keep us apart and unfulfilled, including pornography, selfishness, and social media, which tends to promote unrealistic comparisons, momentary self-promotion, and a hookup culture, at the expense of fostering a long-term, loving, meaningful connection. I'm convinced that to find an ideal partner and have a permanent, loving, and meaningful relationships, we need to become an ideal partner first. We also need to embrace and live by reliable principles and values that will sustain us in our relationships. For example, if we don't embrace and live by the principles of honesty and integrity, our spouse will not be willing to suffer the consequences of such behavior for long. However, when we live according to this principle, our spouse will be able to trust our honesty and integrity. At the same time, we would have a right to be able to expect similar behavior from them. So entering into a successful, long-term, or permanent relationship with someone requires an alignment of true principles and values with your partner. For example, if one partner values the principle of fidelity and faithfulness and the other partner doesn't, there is likely to be broken trust and unmet expectations, resulting in a feeling of sorrow and a break in the relationship. If one partner values selfishness and narcissism, and the other partner values selflessness, empathy, and compassion, there will be a severe mismatch in that relationship that will not long survive. Long-term, permanent, nourishing relationships are built on correct principles, mutual respect, equality, integrity, mutual support and respect, interdependence, love, and acts of service to one another. Consider the following list of trustworthy relationship principles on the left with their matching opposites on the right. Imagine the powerful difference between relationships based on the list on the left compared to the relationships based on the list on the right. While none of us exemplifies every principle on the left perfectly, if we can aspire to at least live this way and seek out a partner or spouse who also seeks to embrace these same principles, it is much more likely to thrive and last for the long term. I'd like to focus now on some of the behaviors that we can each do to strengthen, nurture, and maintain our most significant relationships. First, I think we need to make it a high priority to set aside time for loving discussions about our relationship every day. We need to check in with each other to see how we're doing in contributing to our relationship. This will help us foster emotional intimacy and adapt to changes and growth in each partner in our relationship over time. Second, we need to learn to implement healthy ways to communicate during disagreements, avoiding blame and focusing on constructive solutions. One great way to do this is to restate your partner's statements and positions to ensure that you empathetically understand them and their needs and allow them to do the same for you. Of course, we need to keep the spark alive. The significance of regular physical and emotional intimacy is incredibly important in every relationship. We need to schedule time for bonding through new experiences, Learning and growing together doesn't happen without planning, scheduling, and collaborating. We need to spend quality time together often. We need to be open and honest about our personal and shared finances. We need to always keep our commitments to each other. We need to express love to our spouse in terms that they will understand. Use their love language. We need to kiss them, touch them, hug them, and be available to them. We need to write them love notes, send them tender texts. Honor your duty and commitment to your spouse or partner's well-being. Set healthy boundaries for yourself and for your partner. We need to sacrifice and put them first in our lives. We need to surprise them with experiences and things that will bring them joy. We need to express appreciation often and sincerely. Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Families, defines an emotional bank account as one's relationship with one another. He explains the concept of an emotional bank account with a metaphor by saying, by proactively doing things that build trust in a relationship, one makes deposits. Conversely, doing things that decrease trust, one makes withdrawals. The current balance in the emotional bank account will determine how well two people can communicate and problem solve together. If you are struggling to communicate, you may need to ask yourself, do I need to make more deposits? When an emotional bank account has more deposits than withdrawals, the people involved in that relationship will trust each other. One of the key foundations of a strong relationship is trust. In order to build trust, one must continually make deposits of honesty, kindness, unconditional love, patience, all of those essential virtues that strengthen any relationship. In doing so, we build large reserves in the emotional bank account. I have always loved Stephen Covey. Think about the personal implications of following these ways we can make investments in the emotional bank account of our spouse or partner. Understand the individual. Attend to little things. Keep commitments. Clarify expectations. Show personal integrity. Apologize sincerely when you make a withdrawal. Now think about how powerful these investments are when they are placed in your personal emotional bank account. Being understood, having your spouse do little things for you, having your spouse keep their commitments to you, having your spouse make their expectations clearly understood to you, having a spouse or partner who always exhibits integrity and honesty with you, and having them sincerely apologize to you and express their love to you when they've made a withdrawal from your emotional bank account. Being able to see things from our personal, private perspective, as well as that of our partner, can make all the difference in our ability to fully understand and be understood. We need to pray with our loved ones and invite a higher power into our relationship. The personal rewards of creating and maintaining a loving, nurturing, and meaningful relationship cannot be overstated. We shouldn't be alone. Even the Bible says, nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. But all things of God. That's in 1 Corinthians 11 and 12. Choosing to commit ourselves to a single, loving, lifetime relationship is not settling, as some would suggest. It is choosing to exclude others by our own intelligent choice and agency. It doesn't matter how much money or financial abundance you might have. You will never enjoy it as much alone as you will when you are linked together with a powerful, loving, lifelong companion. Everything will be richer and more satisfying when you can share it with the love of your life. Invest the necessary time and effort into creating and nurturing this most important of all your relationships. You can qualify for lasting love and happiness with effort, dedication, and understanding. Remember that you first need to be the kind of person whom you want to attract. Thanks again for joining me on this exploration of creating and maintaining loving relationships. In our next episode, we'll be discussing the role of financial abundance within the 8 dimensions that comprise a truly rich and wealthy lifestyle. We'll see you in the next one.